One slip, and it's a 1,000-foot drop. This is the Chain Section POV video of Angel's Landing, Zion's most dangerous hike. Let's go. We're Drew and Em, a part-time travel couple using our paid time off and weekends to explore all the world has to offer. From locations close to home to exotic international hotspots. We hope you follow us on our adventure. All right, here we go. On to Angel's Landing. Here we go. Here we are at Angel's Landing at Zion National Park, the Chain Section POV video. Em and I decided that we wanted to do this a bit different because we wanted to actually take this opportunity to introduce ourselves. And we thought you wouldn't want to listen to an hour of background music as we...
And Drew thinks that you want to listen to a background hour of us talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, so here we are.
So here we are. So why not? It would give you a chance. This our channel's been out for almost a year, but we don't have that many videos, but we do have a lot of backlog videos. So
because somebody's slow at editing.
Yep.
And somebody doesn't know how to edit. That's me.
Yeah. So here we go through Angel's Landing. So a bit of background on this. We are not hugely athletic. Hugely? Is that right? We're not the most athletic people.
We're huge, but not hugely athletic.
Well, I don't think we're huge, but
all right,
we're average.
I don't know
people.
About average.
Well, maybe, I don't know, but we like to travel, period. But we like to travel, we like to experience the sights throughout the world, and Zion has been on my list maybe more than...
Never occurred to me to go here.
Never.
But now that we've gone here, I'm really glad we did because it was beautiful.
Yeah, so we have several more videos. This is obviously our POV one of the entire Chain Section. For this, we did apply for the day before permit, and a little background, we did go here the end of February. So
it's hard to believe that it's February because it does look, it looks like summer until you get to the parts of the trail that have ice and snow.
Which you will see. So
yeah.
Yeah.
A little sketchy.
But it it was kind of surprising, and I know a lot of people say it's terrifying, and you'll see as we go through this that it does meet up to its reputation. Again, so to this point, and you'll see if you want to check out our other video, and we kind of compress the Chain Section, but we show the entire hike of up to Scouts Landing, and then up to the peak of Angel's Landing.
Well, when we got to Scouts Landing, I thought we were more or less done the hike. After
Walter's Wiggles, the third.
Yeah. Here we are at Walter's Wiggles, Em. You've got this. Drew, I'm going to die.
Yeah, so...
No. Here we are at Walter's Wiggles, Em.
So to give you a little background on that, you can check out our other video, but I clearly...
he lied his way through the whole hike.
No, it was, what am I looking for? It's...
lie.
No, it wasn't lie, because we've never been here before, obviously, but I just assumed any switchback happened to be Walter's Wiggles. That was the error, and we didn't do much. We did research before. We knew we wanted to do this hike, or I wanted to do this hike.
You wanted to do this hike.
Yep. And yeah.
And once I got up there and you had my kids, I was going with you.
Yeah. So to say the least, the one key for sure for this is we thoroughly enjoyed. I guess we'll talk about the time of year we went, because I think that was vitally important. The temperature was probably at maybe 17 degrees Celsius.
It was perfect. The temperature was perfect. If it was any hotter, it would have been. Okay. If the weather had been any different than it was, it could have been a disaster, and I can pretty much picture myself being airlifted off the top of Angel's Landing. because of heat stroke.
Yeah. So the other advantage that we found going at the end of February was it wasn't very busy, because this park, I believe the statistic is they get 5 million plus visitors a year. And the reason for the permit process is to keep...
You don't get body checked off the side of the mountain?
Well, that's what I was going to get to.
Sorry.
Because, 100%, but it's true. Like, even with...
Oh my God, look at me.
Even with...
My mantra was slow and steady.
What was my mantra? What was my mantra on the hill? And you might hear it in the background.
3 points of contact.
Yeah.
3 points of contact. Just 4 points of contact. At one point, it was 4 points of contact.
Well, it was more for my benefit because, letting the kids know, I felt like I was doing my part to make sure that you did have 3 points of contact, because at any point, and I mean, the videos, I find the video very good, but it still doesn't do it justice.
Look at these poor children terrified that their mother's dying.
Yeah, but it doesn't do it justice of
nerves.
how perilous it is.
Perilous?
Perilous, that's the word of the day.
Whatever.
But perilous. But the reality is it is as dangerous as they do say. Like, you do have the chains, which are helpful, but on the other side is...
It was kind of like a flashback for me, because do you remember the time we went to Quebec and you said we were going to go whitewater rafting? And I pictured myself sitting in a raft that somebody was going to... No, this is serious. I was sitting in a raft and I pictured somebody...
Where you have an umbrella over you and men are rowing you down.
Right.
Yes.
Maybe not to that extent, but I really didn't think it was going to be, as...
But I do want to say you're not a prissy princess. Like, that's not what we're saying. It's just I
just don't like a lot of physical activity, and rowing...
Down Class 5 rapids probably wasn't the best idea. And I wish we had video, because I will say I thoroughly enjoyed that trip.
Yes, and I looked like a drowned rat with mascara running down my eyes, because nobody informed me of what it was going to really be like. But I
also did not know what it was going to be like.
So in saying that, when we got here, and I see these chains, I'm like, that's great, but where do we hook on to the chains so that we don't fall to our death? And then I realized I was just solely responsible for holding on to them. Like, there was no what do they call those things?
Netting?
No.
Safety netting?
No, the things that you hook yourself up with.
Carabiners.
I wanted a full suit and a carabiner so I didn't
and a harness.
fall. And a harness. And a helmet. And something better than Nike sneakers. I love you, Nike, but they weren't cut out for this trip.
Well, I guess I had done a lot of research on this hike, and, it does, again, and I've said it before, have that reputation. But as long as you take it slow and steady, I don't think it was any point that you were seriously unsafe. Except for, I guess, the part that may be coming up here in a little bit got pretty sketchy.
Is that the ice?
Well, the ice, and it was a little more vertical, which we'll get to.
Right, yeah.
But the other thing is we only brought how much water per person, too? And this was February. We only brought 2 water bottles each, and they were they a liter each?
Bless her little heart. Look at her saying, come on, Mom.
Yeah.
You can do this. My children have never been so encouraging.
Yes, because they were realizing that we were a bit out of our element here, and they're like, well, and again, the difference between, for us being our age and our kids obviously being teenagers, they have a lot more athletic ability than we do at this point. But again, it goes back to the same thing we've been talking about, and we talked about in the other video as well, is this whole hike, I'm trying to remember the exact, it took around 6 hours to do the whole thing.
Yep.
Up and back.
It took us about 6 hours.
And I think on the apps and everything else, I read it takes about 4.5. So I guess that tells you how much we took our time. And
I didn't feel like I was taking my time. I felt like I was dying partially. But I mean, you know, one step at a time.
But the end of it,
you can't get that far up and then turn around and go back. Like, you just can't.
I mean, so to be clear,
although lots of people did.
You can turn around and go back.
But how do you go home and think, oh
and
my gosh, I was almost there?
So again, the highest point, I believe, and I don't want to get corrected in the comments because I don't have it right in front of me, but I believe it's about 1,700 feet up to the peak from sea level. But the views and the rocks and the whole park, for that matter, is absolutely stunning. The scenery is like something you've never seen, period, or that we've seen.
I mean, not in New Brunswick.
Well, not anywhere in Canada we've been either.
No, but we haven't been to the West Coast
of Canada, no. And that's on our list for sure. It is definitely should be on people's bucket list, in our opinion. The whole Mighty Five, I guess they call them. A little sidetrack. We flew in for this trip into Vegas, and drove out. So a little plug here. You'll see the video on where we stayed while at Zion, which was the Spring Hill Suites.
Oh, it was beautiful.
It is.
And I'm a little fussy about hotels.
Well, a little sidebar. When booking hotels, we don't necessarily pay too much attention to like whether it's 4-star, 5-star, or any of that, but cleanliness.
I don't care about any of that. I don't care where it's located. I don't care what it's close to.
No, but it has to be, in all fairness, it has to be, the place is important, but the most important is...
It has to be clean.
Yes, clean. That is for sure.
Can we tell the story about going to Quebec again? And we showed up at the hotel at 2:00 in the morning.
Yeah, so sidebar, again, we like to, when we're driving anywhere, we like to drive late, or I like to drive late at night, less traffic, So we were going on that Quebec trip that we spoke of, and I had picked a place between New Brunswick and Quebec, and I don't even know what town or city it was in.
I don't remember.
And we will leave the name, not to disparage, but I had booked without looking at reviews, which I typically always do when we're staying anywhere for, when we're planning a trip. But this was just to basically lay our heads down. Anyway, shame on us, we didn't look. I don't know what the reviews were, but when we showed up,
it was 2 a.m.
It was 2 a.m.
We had been driving forever.
Yeah, so...
We were exhausted, and I said, oh my gosh, we got to just get in there. And so we opened the door, and the first thing was that it smelled like mold.
Yeah, it was bad.
But whatever. We're only going to be there for 6 hours?
Not even.
7 hours? Something like that. And then we turned down the bed. And it was like a horror movie.
Yeah, so needless to say, to fast forward and not, waste this whole video talking about that.
Sorry. Yeah.
We didn't stay there. And we ended up driving the rest of the way to Quebec, stayed at a hotel that we like, that I had done research on. And Where?
Where did we stay?
In Quebec City.
Which hotel?
Well, Hampton Inn.
Oh, I love the Hampton Inn.
Yes.
The Hampton Inn is always clean. They have breakfast in the morning. The beds are typically comfortable. It's not fancy, but it's fine.
Yeah. And for when we're just doing a quick stopover somewhere, we typically like the Hampton Inns, but we're not sponsored by the Hampton Inns, and this is not an ad for the Hampton Inns.
I've just never had a problem with the Hampton Inns. Tampa.
Asterisks.
Okay, so we went to Tampa.
And
to be fair, we stayed at the Hampton Inn across the street from
Busch Gardens.
And this was the trip that Drew and I were going on.
And it wasn't that it wasn't clean or one of those things, but the issue was they had an outdoor speaker for some reason.
Oh, no, that wasn't my main issue.
What was your main issue?
That it looked to me when I turned the bed down that a child was very sick on the mattress, and then they just
Yeah. Did we ask for a new room in that one?
No.
I can't remember. Oh, we had 2 beds, but we only needed 1. So we didn't sleep in that bed.
Right. But really, I mean, a child probably was sick.
From Busch Gardens.
From being at Busch Gardens. And that's not too far off because I said, YOLO, let's go to Busch Gardens. And then who was sick?
Yeah, so then Em got sick and missed.
Oh, Ed Sheeran, if you're listening to this, I love you more than I love anybody. And
well, that's
I
a bit
spent
excessive.
all of my money to come and see you in Tampa. If anybody knows Ed, and you can get this message to Ed, I will say, you are my favorite. And for my birthday,
yes, I think it was your birthday, yes.
Drew bought me tickets to see Ed in Tampa. And it was like a year in advance.
Now, hold on. I don't want to cut you off because we're getting to this part here. And now this is not going to marry up, but I'll have to. But this part here
mercy,
is one of the,
this is it.
probably I want to say most famous sections.
Most deadly sections?
Maybe most deadly sections.
Most terrifying?
But you can see on both sides, you have a relatively, and again, the video doesn't do it justice, but it's pretty narrow.
It feels extremely narrow when you're up there. It feels extremely narrow.
And yeah, so, but back to the Ed Sheeran thing. If you want to fast forward, it was, Em wanted to see Ed so bad.
I waited a whole year to see Ed Sheeran.
And
we went to Tampa.
And this is where I guess the what's the word I'm looking for here? The mantra of YOLO.
Right.
Didn't work out very well.
It's the first time it really didn't play out well for us. So we stayed at this hotel, and I said, look, Drew.
Let's go to Busch Gardens. No, because we booked it because it was across. We'll go to Busch Gardens.
Yep.
We'll try that out. And again, not to go too far into this, we weren't overly thrilled with Busch Gardens to begin with.
It was extremely hot. The lineups were
not great.
Very long. They kept shutting down roller coasters. And, my memory of roller coasters were from my Disney days, and these were a little bit more hardcore.
And yes, and we are Disney. We do love Disney.
Love Disney.
And no one does it quite like Disney, and this is, again, not to prop up Disney World, but they just don't. No one does. No one moves crowds better. No one has the things in place to make your visit as comfortable as possible. And needless to say, Em got a bit of heat stroke and
a migraine.
And a migraine and missed Ed.
All
That's
because
the short.
I rode the scary roller coasters and said YOLO. And so we went all the way to the Ed concert with me sick, hoping that I would feel better. And I didn't do so well in the parking lot. And Drew had to take me home. And he went and watched Ed Sheeran
by himself
with an extra seat.
With an extra seat again, if Ed is listening, or anybody knows Ed,
all night.
But I really like your music, but I'm not a big. So I literally sat down while everybody else was up standing. I enjoyed the show. I will say that it was a great show.
I heard,
but people were wondering why I had this.
I think they thought you were stood up, like you were sitting there. You had an extra
maybe
seat.
They were
like,
feeling
the
bad,
poor guy.
and, or whatever. But
anyway,
yeah, so
I'm coming for you at some point. Come back to Canada, the U.S.
Well, and if we have to go to Europe and see them, that's okay too. We don't mind
That's fine.
doing that.
I can make that work. Anyhow.
So back to the Angels, Zion. So kind of rewinding, we did fly into Vegas, headed out directly to Springdale, in Utah, obviously, and stayed at the Spring Hill Suites. And again, you can check out that video on our review
Is that
of
where you
that
got
hotel.
pulled over by the police?
No. So
sorry.
No. So we did do this all by drive. So we did, just as a quick aside, we did Zion. Then we headed up to Bryce Canyon, did that, and then shot down to the Grand Canyon, then went to Joshua Tree.
The Grand Canyon was on my bucket list.
Yeah, and so typically we like to plan these vacations, but we were trying to fit a lot in a relatively short amount of time, and we didn't give the Grand Canyon.
This girl here, she was so nice. She was like, so I have to say.
And we didn't ask her permission to put her on this video, but she was excellent.
I'm sorry. She was so nice. I mean, this is totally out of my element. I was partway through regretting my decision to do this. I was kind of freaking out. I was worried about the kids.
And again, you can see the drops on both sides.
But I was having a good time. I definitely was having a good time. But I will say, as somebody who has some weight to lose and has some health issues, the thing that I will say is that the people in the hiking community, the people that we saw on this trip, were so encouraging and so kind to me and just encouraged me to keep going, which I was really appreciative of.
But her information was not well received because she was like,
she told me,
and she was very kind, and she could tell she didn't want to say what she wanted to say was, you have a lot left.
What I wanted to hear was about
it's right
5
there.
more minutes and you're at the top, and that was not the message I received. But anyway. But look at it; it's beautiful.
And we made sure again. So anybody hiking this, and again, we didn't run into this, but everybody was so kind to let people pass or wait for you. No one was rushing, because again, it would not take much to get bumped off this. And that's why I'm very glad they did.
And people have.
Yeah, no, that's true, and it's very.
And we looked at that later when we were done the hike. We did do a little Google research. And very sadly, some people have fallen.
And one of the most famous stories I heard while I was doing the research was from a gentleman, and I'm sure you could probably find the video. I may look for it and put the link in the description. But the craziest story was somebody decided, the way he almost fell off, he was at the peak, and you'll see the peak. I mean, it's not as narrow as some of these sections, but... And it's not very narrow at all, but you'll see when we get up here. And, but somebody brought a...
kite?
Yes, a kite. And flew a kite, and it hit him in the back of the head and almost knocked him off the peak. So I don't know why.
I don't think it's super narrow. I think what the problem is when you get to the top is that it's uneven ground, and so you could easily lose your footing.
Yeah, and again, he was a photographer apparently, and he was trying to get a shot, so he was closer to the edge, and then he gets hit in the back of the head by a kite, which again, why would anybody I don't understand why someone would bring a kite, so don't bring a kite. And if you do, definitely do not fly it at the top of Angel's Landing. It's just not safe. There's just too much that could go wrong.
Yeah, okay, so flying things, you aren't allowed to bring your drone.
Yeah, so tidbit on that, at national parks, any of the national parks in the U.S., you are not allowed to fly a drone, which someone who likes to take various shots, I would appreciate being able to, but obviously you have to understand there's wildlife for one, and again, it would kind of take away hearing the buzzing of a bunch of drones flying around a national park. It would make it not as enjoyable for people wanting to enjoy themselves doing these wonderful parks. So as we progress up this, I want to say another side note, I was about to call it a hill. And I remember one of our first videos, we did a review of the Norwegian Escape, and I, by accident, throughout the video, called it a boat. I
remember you called it a boat and not a ship, and you were absolutely
and people went
attacked.
And I couldn't believe it, and I'm like, it was just more tongue-in-cheek. I understand, obviously, it's a ship, but I couldn't believe. So this is not a hill. This is a much more than a hill, but...
what is it?
Yeah, what would they classify?
Is it a mountain?
I don't know if they'd classify it as a mountain.
Is it a cliff?
Maybe somebody in the comments can let me know if it's probably, I'm going back to geography, probably grade 4. What would it be called? A plateau, maybe? I don't know. I don't Yeah, maybe
I don't know. We'll have to look it up. Anyway, it was a piece of land that went way up into the sky.
So now we're getting to the more, I do believe, where we're at here is getting
3 points
into
of contact.
the
3 points of contact. Hand, hand, foot. Hand, hand, foot. Foot, foot, hand.
Foot, foot, hand. Yes. Yeah. Well, obviously. Okay. It was more of just talking
The
through.
more nervous you got, the more you repeated.
Probably.
And at one point, what did you say? 4 points of contact.
Yeah.
And
well,
one of the kids said, Dad, if we had 4 points of contact, we couldn't move.
well, and that's probably was I wanted them to stay still. But you get up here again. It's hard to explain how crazy it is, but it's one of those things. Not that I'm comparing it to climbing Everest.
Well,
at
that
all,
would be a little bit much.
obviously. But it's
For our next adventure. Watch Em and Drew climb Everest.
or die on Everest, but or not die getting even just to base camp. But anyway, I digress on that. It is one of those things that when you do finish it, it's something you check off your bucket list. Not everybody's done it, and it's definitely worth it. So I would check out on our other video on Angel's Landing. We do kind of go through the process of how you can get a permit for Angel's Landing. It's you only have to apply for one. So just to give you a little bit of information, you only apply for one. You can add the people in your party. I forget if there's a limit. Maybe I should have did a bit more research, but it was definitely for a family of 4. You could do it on the one permit. And make sure, and you probably saw back way in the beginning of the video, we didn't talk about it, but they do check it. They do have a ranger
sitting
on Scouts Landing before the chain section, which is reassuring. And I almost forgot to bring it. And
are you serious?
No, and there's no signs at the beginning that I can remember, because I remember.
Drew, if I got up to the top of that mountain after 4 hours of hiking.
Well, it wasn't 4 hours to the top. Well, maybe it was.
It was 4 hours to
Scouts
Landing. If I had got up 4 hours and you said, "Oh,"
well, you probably would have been okay, because you'd be like, "Well, it looks."
Not if I had to wait there for you to go to.
Well, I would have never made it. That would have definitely not happened. So that is a huge tip. Make sure you have it, because they won't let you up. And
well, we did see people going after the lady had left.
Towards the
when it was getting
later.
dark.
Yes, or yeah. So I don't know
really scary.
who would want to be up on this thing.
To be fair, they smelt like they had been partaking in extracurricular.
Yeah, which is crazy too. But to each their own. But if you want to be safe,
please don't. It's not safe. That's so dangerous.
And it's not a livable situation. And even if you have to get the first responders out there, it's not easy.
You don't want to have anybody coming looking for you. There's my girl. She's going up. She's wearing my shoes.
Yeah, she was wearing your shoes.
She's some tough. Look at her.
So I don't know if I include on this our trip down. I don't think I do. I think we just go to the top and that's it.
We're not going to talk about the hole in my pants.
Why not?
The fastest way to the bottom of the hill is on your bottom.
So it wasn't included in this video, but I will talk about this. I might embarrass Em a little bit. But the easiest way down the hill is how?
Listen, okay?
Safest way.
It is not necessarily the fastest. The fastest way is to hoof yourself off the mountain. I wouldn't recommend that. The safest way is to just kind of slide on your bottom in certain spots.
So the recommendation there would be
wear a pair of pants that are
have stronger tensile strength, because the rocks will tear your pants as you go down the sandstone. I guess it is. It's sandstone.
And you should be wearing some full-bottomed underpants if you don't want to give the lovely hikers a show that they never asked for.
So we'll leave it at that. I don't think that's in this video. I really don't think it is.
Well, if it is, it's going to be
deleted.
Probably deleted.
Before
we'd like to get.
There will not be an uncut version.
No, we'd like to have viewers come, not leave.
Yes. So we'll make sure that's not in there. But
oh my gosh.
So this is the final part here. This is the final push up a very narrow section. It's yeah, but the views, the sky, we were blessed with a beautiful,
the weather was
day.
perfect.
Yeah.
The weather was perfect. If it had been any hotter, it really would have been bad.
And you can see patches of the ice and snow. So it's, yeah. So some people do recommend wearing, what are they called? We even had a pair. We bought them.
We bought them at Costco.
Yes, but what were they called?
The ice pick things that go on your shoes.
The ice pick things that go on your shoes. At this time of year.
We're also not sponsored by the ice pick people.
Ice pick, yeah, the crampons, are they called crampons? They must, I think
they might
are.
be. I don't know.
So we are not sponsored by the crampon people, but at this time of year, the end of February, we had read in some places that you should have them. If we're being honest, we didn't feel that they were needed at this time of year.
There was one spot that there was a lot of ice and snow.
But it wasn't on a spot where you need traction, like it's...
No, I didn't feel like I mean, it was fine. But
you can look at the conditions.
Can we do a plug for Costco?
A plug? No, we won't do a plug for Costco. Although they did take them back, of course. They're still in the package.
They were still in the package. I love Costco.
So we did not need them. We did bring them, but they weren't needed. So check the conditions. If you're going the end of February, beginning of March. That part we just cut out was that gentleman asked me to take his picture. He was out there by himself, which I find interesting, to climb this all by yourself. And there's the views.
It was wild. And looking at it, it doesn't do it justice at all.
No. And it's not quite the top yet. We are getting there. But that's pretty much the end of the climbing sections. Like, call it what it is.
Look, there's a little bit of snow.
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
And I do believe, did they not sand it? They did have it sanded.
There seemed to be a little bit of sand there, but I'd like to know who climbed up there to put the sand up there.
Those wonderful rangers.
Yeah.
So a plug on that. There are some people we follow on Instagram that are talking a lot about the cuts to is it the Forest Service? And I might be getting this wrong. I apologize to our American friends. But there are a lot of cuts happening. And it would be a shame to see more cuts that affect these beautiful parks. Here I was again, making a mistake. There are more climbing sections. I thought that was the top. It's not.
Picture that for 6 whole hours.
Walter's Wiggles, Walter's Wiggles, Walter's
there.
Wiggles. I guess it's glass half full. That's what I'm. But this is a great view down that you see down to the bottom of the valley there. It's unbelievable. Yeah, this was when you're coming.
Oh, mercy.
This was where even Mark, our son, was like, "Whoa."
I think this is where he said, "Mom, I want you to stay there."
Whoa, yeah, yeah. And
he was probably right.
Yeah, but it didn't last too long. This kind of crazy no chain / climbing up a side of a.
I think it was the ice and snow, and the no chain. The ice and snow and the no chain that was an issue.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the no chain. So, but they do have good footholds. 3 points of contact. I'll plug that again.
3 points of contact.
Here's me saying, "Oh, good foothold there, good foothold there." And I think, if I remember correctly, you were telling me I got it. And you did. Take your time. I guess this is the plug. Do it at your own pace.
Slow and steady is better than not at all.
100%. I agree with that 100%.
And it was slow.
Steady.
You might need to fast forward this part for the people.
Well, again, it goes back to it's just the POV of the entire trip, pretty much, up Angel's Landing. There was some cuts for editing, I think a few of them, but for the most part, it was the entire thing.
There we are. I said that already. And we weren't.
No. you keep on hoping that you come around the corner and ta-da, it's the peak. But it wasn't.
No.
And yeah, and I was talking before, and I didn't finish my thought on the amount of water to bring. It wasn't at all that hot, like we said, but we probably did not bring enough water.
I probably sweat 3 liters of
fluid. Yeah, we didn't have enough. So I don't know what the recommendation would be. We probably had, was it 3 500 mils, so 1.5 liters? We probably should have had more each, period. But we were packing pretty light versus carrying, but we should have had more water, period.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, we needed more water, and we were just really lucky that it wasn't any hotter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You wouldn't, and that they do have warning signs throughout about the heat. I honestly could not imagine being here in the peak of summer, which is its peak season. It would not be where we'd want to find ourselves in the middle of July, August at all.
No.
So,
why is there more chain?
Why are we not at the top yet?
I thought we were at the top.
Yeah. I thought we were pretty close. We must be pretty close. I don't have the time running here, but I'm pretty sure we're pretty close to the top here. And maybe I'm just trying to keep our viewers engaged here and maybe there's another half an hour, but I don't think
What other kind of story do you have to tell?
of the rest of it. So maybe we should discuss for Zion while we're getting here to the top of what was your favorite experience. I think I know what it is, but I'm not going to say it. I'll have it in my head. But what was your most favorite
Who's that person?
experience? Oh yeah, you always run into people at Zion.
They don't look as tired as I look.
No.
My favorite experience at Zion. Oh my God, are we going to have another butt shot here?
I don't know.
Oh, that's not pretty, guys. I'm sorry.
Okay. Favorite.
I'm going to say something that's going to make you really mad.
Well, okay, but why would it make... Okay.
Seeing the chipmunks at the top of...
What?
Seeing the chipmunks at the top of Angel's Landing amazed me. What were they doing up there?
I do believe, because Claire brought it up a couple of times, I do believe they followed almost the entire way from Scout's Landing all the way to the top. I do believe.
I think she was feeding them something.
Well, she might have been. And you are not to feed the wildlife.
There are signs.
There are signs. That being said, that was not what I was going to pick for you.
Okay.
I was going to say it was the mountain goat.
Oh my gosh. Okay, that was amazing.
And that was on our last day when we decided to do the Zion Overlook, which, shameless plug, watch that video, it's coming.
But all I wanted to see the whole time we were there was...
Well...
They were called a big horned...
Sheep,
no.
I believe. Oh, it was a sheep, wasn't it? It wasn't a...
Big horned...
Sheep. No, it was bighorn sheep.
No, you're right.
I would like to see it.
It was a bighorn sheep.
Anyway, and they had said you can see them
at this one particular
Canyon
hike.
Overlook.
Right. So I said, my gosh, I'm tired and I don't ever want to hike again in my life, except for today because I want to go see the sheep. And when we got there, everybody was like, oh yeah, there's all kinds of them. We just saw like 20 of them. And I hiked and I hiked and I hiked and I hiked.
Nowhere to be seen.
And everybody I saw said they saw them. Yeah, no, there was just some here. I just saw them back around the corner. And no. How long was that hike?
No, that hike was a wonderful hike because it's not that long. The views are stunning as they are in a lot of places. But that hike was not long. I can't remember.
Maybe 2 hours?
Yeah, maybe.
Something like that?
And that's taking your time. Like that, and that's in and back. And where did you see it? At the scary.
We went all the way to the end and turned around and went all the way back. And the whole time I just thought, this is like so sad. There's no sheep with big horns. And I was so disappointed. And there he was, right at the very entrance of the trail.
And of course, we get close, and one of the rangers like, you might not want to get that close. And he literally jumped down, crossed the road, right.
Can you put that in here somewhere?
I don't know if I know you got the video, but I think it was, I will see if I can find it for that video. I do believe we have it. And it literally walked right by. I thought it was going to
ram the car. He came right down and walked right across the main road.
Oh, there's a chipmunk. It was right there.
Oh, they were so cute.
So
the chipmunks were adorable.
Not to stop that conversation, but this is the top. So you can see it's kind of slanted. We finally made the peak. And yeah, so this is what the peak of Angel's Landing looks like.
Where are the chipmunks?
Well, they just ran. And here's the guy I took a picture of. So we're not going to say much and let you enjoy the views, but the views, like everywhere on this hike, were stunning. But they do say Canyon Overlook gives almost equivalent views without
near-death experience?
Without the near-death experiences. But as we wrap it up here, this is pretty much it. If you do have food, this is a great place to have your picnic. There was a couple that had a whole bunch of food in their pack, sat down. It would definitely be a great spot to have a picnic, for sure. Looking out on Zion's valley, basically. I think I did leave in our last part at the end here, but...
Are you going to be able to fast forward through some of this for these people?
Well, no, I wanted to leave it as unedited as possible for the entire hike, so people could see the entire thing. Mm-hmm. So I tried not to edit as much as possible, which we hope you enjoyed our podcast / Angel's Landing podcast, our first inaugural Em and Drew podcast overlay. But
oh, there's Mark.
Yeah, and there's a couple that had the picnic.
They were so nice.
They were very kind as well. So that's pretty much the end. We'll let this play out here, and we'll put our plug. We hope you enjoyed the video. We'd really appreciate...
Wait, what did they say? The real YouTubers. Give us a thumbs up.
Give us a thumbs up.
And smash that
like button. It goes a long way to helping with the algorithm. But no, really, we really like to hear from you, everybody that watched the video. Please leave a comment. We'll respond. If you have any questions, we'd be more than happy to answer them. But thanks for watching the whole video.
There you are.
And we're going to try to get on a more regular schedule. And we do have some more, obviously we definitely have some more videos from this trip coming up. We are doing the rest of the Zion. We're doing the Emerald Pools. We have that video coming.
Yep.
We have the Emerald Pools. We did not do the Narrows. We should have talked about that. But we do have Emerald Pools, the Zion Overlook, and that's pretty much it for Zion. And then Bryce, and then
Joshua Tree.
And then Joshua Tree. And then we have some other trips planned, but follow along. That's it. All right, made it to the top of Angel's Landing. It took us a bit, probably about 4.5 hours, but we were moving pretty slow, but amazing views all around. Unbelievable. Definitely worth it. All right, everybody, on top of Angel's Landing, we made it to the peak. Took us 4.5 hours, but we all made it. absolutely stunning. What did you guys think?
It was great.
Those chipmunks.
No one's looking forward to going back down. We wish there was like a zip line to the bottom or a gondola, but so we'll see how we go here. All right, there we go. See ya.